Have you ever really thought about how a modern car gets made? I mean, with all of its millions of parts and complex electronics, how does it all come together? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain and look at its secret digital life.
Okay, so let's just dive right in. Every single car you see on the road, it has a twin, a digital twin. You see, before any metal is ever bent or stamped, the entire vehicle exists as this huge, incredibly detailed collection of data. This is where its story really begins.
So, we're going to follow this car's journey through 4 main stages. It all kicks off with an idea, probably in a conference room somewhere. Then it moves into digital design, then onto the factory floor to actually get built, and finally it's loaded up for delivery. Let's start right at the beginning.
This first phase, this is really where the magic happens. It's where the car is dreamed up, designed, and tweaked until it's perfect, all happening inside a computer. The end result is a complete digital blueprint.
And right away, that brings up a massive question. I mean, think about it. You've got thousands of engineers scattered all over the globe, all working on different bits and pieces of the same vehicle. How on earth do you make sure the engine actually fits in the frame, or that the door handle wiring talks to the right electronics? How do you stop it from becoming total chaos? Well, the answer is this amazing system called Product Lifecycle Management, or PLM for short. You can think of it as the master plan, the one single source of truth for the entire car. It tracks every single decision, every change, from the very first napkin sketch to the final engineering specs. It's building a complete digital history of a car before it's even real.
Now, I know this slide looks a little complex, but it shows us exactly how that PLM system works its magic. See over on the left? It starts with a concept. The system then guides all the engineers as they build out these super detailed 3D models and plans. And it all leads to something called a Bill of Materials, or BOM. That's just a fancy name for an exhaustive digital list of every single part, right down to the last nut and bolt. This is what turns a cool idea into a real plan for manufacturing.
So, the real power of PLM isn't just about being organized. By having that single source of truth, you can see how it has a huge impact on the bottom line. It helps get the car to market faster, it keeps costs down, and it makes absolutely sure that the team in Germany and the team in Mexico are building from the exact same digital playbook.
All right, so the digital blueprint is done. It's perfect. Now it's time to actually build this thing. Let's head over to the factory floor and see how this data becomes a physical car. We're talking about a smart factory, and every smart factory needs a brain.
So we've got the perfect design, but now what? How do you translate that digital plan into the beautifully synchronized dance of a modern assembly line? How do you tell thousands of robots exactly what to do second by second?
That job belongs to the Manufacturing Execution System, or MES. If the PLM was the car's blueprint, the MES is the factory's brain. Or maybe its central nervous system. It's connected to every machine, it's watching every process, and it's controlling the flow of the entire production line, all in real time. And this grid here really gives you a sense of just how much that factory brain is juggling. I mean, look at it. It's managing worker schedules, the physical flow of parts, constant data analysis, quality control. Every single piece of the puzzle is connected to and controlled by this one system. It's incredible. The result of all this is huge. Yeah, it makes manufacturing cheaper and more consistent, but it also creates a complete digital birth certificate for every single car that rolls off the line. This idea is called traceability, and it means the manufacturer knows the entire history of every single component in your car. That is absolutely critical for quality and for safety. But of course, a car isn't built in a bubble. The factory is just one stop in this massive, planet-spanning network that's feeding it all the parts it needs.
So here's the next mind-blowing challenge for you. A single car can have over 30,000 individual parts, and they come from hundreds of suppliers all over the world. How in the world do you make sure every single one of those parts arrives at the factory exactly when it's needed? Not a day early, and definitely not a minute late.
This is the job of Supply Chain Management, or SCM. If the MES is the factory's brain, think of the SCM as the circulatory system for the whole operation. It manages the flow of every single component, from raw ore in the ground to a supplier's factory, into the car plant, and finally the finished car to the dealership.
And this image really captures the incredible scale of it all. SCM is this global ballet of logistics. It's all about unbelievably intricate planning, warehousing, and transportation just to keep that factory humming. If this system has even a small hiccup, the entire assembly line can grind to a halt.
So really, the goal of SCM is to create a perfectly smooth, uninterrupted flow. It all starts with trying to predict future demand. That prediction then dictates how much inventory you need to keep on hand, which in turn sets this entire global logistics machine in motion, all to make sure a stable supply of materials shows up at the factory doors right on schedule.
Okay, let's zoom out. We've seen the blueprint, we've seen the factory's brain, and we've seen the supply lines. But for a modern car, believe it or not, that's just the beginning. We have to connect the entire ecosystem. A modern car really has two halves to it. You've got the in-car systems. That's all the software controlling safety, the self-driving features, the entertainment screen. But then you have this whole out-car ecosystem, all the cloud services that give you remote updates, run diagnostics, connect to your mobile app, or even power ride-sharing. The car isn't just a machine anymore, it's a fully connected device.
So here's the crucial takeaway. These three systems, PLM for the design, MES for the factory, and SCM for the logistics, they don't work in isolation. They are deeply, deeply connected, and together they form the digital backbone that makes pretty much all of modern manufacturing possible.
And that brings us to a much bigger idea. Because this isn't just about cars. Think about your phone, your washing machine, your headphones. Almost every physical object made today has a digital shadow, a twin made of pure data that defined its entire existence long before it ever became a real physical thing.
And that leaves us with one final, pretty wild question to think about. If a physical object is born from code, what happens in the future when we can fundamentally change that object just by changing its code long after it's been built and is out in the world? What does that really mean for everything around us?